Welcome to another episode of PlayOn with myself, Aisling O'Reilly, brought to you by sportstalk.ie. In this episode, we travel the Lee side to the home of the Rebels to chat with former dual star, current Super 8's podcast pundit, and of course, Cork legend Seán Óg Ó hAilpín. And also chatting with me is current dual star and multiple All-Ireland winner, Hannah Looney. You're very welcome.
Thanks, Aisling.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Aisling. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Welcome to the real capital.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right. I'll take that from Mead. So yeah.
Oh, fine, yeah. We've a common enemy, so.
That's it. So, Seán Óg, what are you at now?
Very little hurling in the ditch, really. And then just coaching a few teams. More so, like, more underage teams in my own club.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
And the Peer Shake, so... you get the good, bad and the ugly. Obviously, coaching, some days you're making progress, some other days it feels like you're going 10 years backwards, and some other days you just get the players that you're coaching like kind of saying that you're no good. So it's
to Seán Óg Ó hAilpín, they saying you're no
good.
Big statement.
Like,
really?
Like
yeah.
What age are
they
you?
weren't even born. Like these
Right.
are 14-year-olds doing like you might get one or two come up to you and saying, oh, my dad or my mum kind of said that you were okay once upon a time, kind of, and then so it's time to get out when you hear that. But like to be honest, like on a serious note, it is very gratifying and it is very humbling, kind of coaching underage teams, especially my own J club, because I kind of feel a debt of gratitude, kind of for. I mean, when I look back at that age and the coaches that put in an awful lot of time to me, and then a lot of them like would have influenced me in one way or another to progress and play with Cork at the highest level. So, and it's funny, like I often look, like when I was a 14-year-old looking at my coaches back then, like they came across to me as ancient. Mm-hmm. So I realise that I'm now the same age as the coaches, back then. So I can imagine what this current crowd think of me. But sure, look, but it's great.
And Hannah, yourself, what's your club?
I'm from Hannah, so I'd agree with Seán Óg there. It's very special, and I'd always bring thank a lot of things to my club in Hannah. Even from starting out when I was, I suppose, 6 or 7 playing with the boys, and then going and starting in with the girls team. And I suppose my favourite memory will always be winning the junior club All-Ireland with Hannah. Like, on the larger scale of things, people would say, are you crazy? But it's just so special. It's a pity that I have to play camogie with Killa, but having said that, Killa is my club as well. They've done so much for me as well. I've been playing with them since 11. I call that home as well. But
So is this club like nearby you?
Yeah, I suppose it's close enough. It's still, I suppose, about 25 minutes, half an hour away. It would have been the closest club at the time. Or else I got Vera Terry, who originally from Killa but married and had a man kind of scouted me over there. I didn't have a choice when I was 10 or 11. But they're such a great club, and we're coming strong the last couple of years. Unfortunately, we lost the county semi-final to Inniscarra, who were going for 4 in a row, just by a point after a replay. But, we've been struggling for a few years, and to kind of get it together, hopefully we can keep things and drive on from that.
Definitely. And so growing up, childhood heroes, maybe from your club, or maybe there's a teacher or manager or mentor that really spurred you on, Seán Óg?
I had a few. I was lucky to have a few. I suppose... I had a man crush on Tony O'Sullivan. Not many people, probably even the listeners here, kind of wouldn't know who he is. But if you Google Tony O'Sullivan, like he was the kiddie in the 80s. He played with Cork senior hurlers. He was a wing forward, but more importantly, he was from the Peer Shake. And like I was in awe, like I adored the ground he walked on. I'll give an example. As a young teenager going to Cork games in Páirc Keeve of Cork played in the Munster final up in Thurles. So you go up there and then like the stadium be packed, full house, 50,000 people, and then to see someone from your own club playing on the pitch in front of that crowd. And the beauty about it is next Tuesday when you're up there training with the kiddies up in the patch, and you'd see Tony Sullivan in the flesh, like you could touch him, that for me was absolutely goal. And then dare I say, and I always, and Tony's heavily involved with the club. All his family are. The O'Sullivans are very steeped in our club, and I still pinch myself when he passes, like, and I'm
that's
42.
amazing.
I'm 42 years of age, but like, so by following my hero, I ended up
Where he
fulfilling
was,
my dreams, like, and so Tony was one of them. As Hannah said, when you see the voluntary work that goes at underage level, and especially the coaches, because basically, and I only see it myself, there's nothing in it, only for like personal satisfaction that you're doing something. There's no monetary gain in this. There's nothing. So when I look back at the coaches, and a lot of them, like when I look back, some of them have sadly passed away. Do you know what I mean? But galls me, like, you know, but when you look at their own personal lives, you know, like a lot of them would have had like typical Irish family, 6-7 kids back in the day. Do you know what I mean? So that not alone they had their own job, they had family of 6-7 kids to look after, but they still put in time.
They turn up every evening.
And
that's what I always think. Like when you're going to training, like, you know, someone might put in the group, or they can't go because of this or that, or they're working late, but the manager's always there. So how, you know, they're just so selfless.
Look, they're a special breed, and this might be the first time the more I talk about them, I'm gonna cry here, like, because they were very special, those guys. And then this is what I keep on telling people, especially at the moment, it's very hard to find people coaching or getting involved helping teams, and the one common thing that you hear back is, oh look, I never played with Cork, or I never played at a high level. And I keep on reminding them, all these special coaches that I had underage, none of them didn't play with Cork, didn't even play with their clubs, right? But what they did was they were there, they encouraged, they give you they showed you the basics, do you know? They showed you how to pick with two hands. They showed you to strike every second ball off your left hand. I mean, like, you don't have to play with Cork to, do you know what I mean, pass that message on. But the biggest thing that they did is they passed on a passion for the game of hurling and Gaelic football, which sticks with the pupil forever and ever. Like, I know it doesn't happen now, but Gobby with the days where like 10 of us would bunch into a manager's car or a selective's car, and you go to places that I never would have heard of, you know, growing up in the north side of Cork City, like, you know, Ballygarvan, Ballygiblin, you know, what you call it, the Killit to me growing up might as well be in County Wexford, do you know what I mean? Like, back then, even going to trips down to West Cork was great. And then I know times have changed,
big time.
I think sadly a small bit, because the underage kids that I coach now, I don't think they get I don't think they're getting the same experience that I would have got growing up.
Why do you think that?
Teams are, I won't say underfunded, but like teams have very little manpower involved with them. You know,
at the underage, so they're probably
I'm only just speaking for my own club, right? But when I talk to other people that I know involved with other clubs, it seems to be universal. Like, you've one or two guys involved with a team of trying to run 20, like a team of 25. It's very hard, like, to organise jerseys, you know, the logistics, deal with the parents, transport. Like, two guys is just not enough.
And Hannah, do you have any childhood heroes?
Yeah, I suppose I have a good few now people to look back on. I suppose I definitely have fond memories of pretending I was Seán Óg out the back playing hurling after the great All-Ireland wins in the early 2000s. Yeah. But I also have fond memories of following when Conor Coonahan was in charge of the Cork footballers in the day. You know, it was a great time, I think, when we had Pierce O'Neill playing and Kieran O'Connor, and, you know, every weekend out in the back with my dad and my cousins, my aunt and Gillian, we went to all the matches. And, you know, I really, really looked up to Pierce and Kieran. And I remember one time Pierce came down to the club and gave me a jersey, and I put it on for about 3 days straight.
Trying to get you out of it.
Yeah, but luckily outside of that, I did have strong female role models as well, which is important, and I think is very important, and it's great to see that's a topic. Yeah, it's changing. But Noreen Mulcahy would have been a primary school teacher of mine. She came into the school and I was in 5th class, I think, and you know, the girls didn't play football or hurling or camogie. It was just all the boys. They came along on the side, and she really changed that. And that was a big eye-opener for me. Yeah. And I think it was at a stage where I was 11 or 12, and it was really important to kind of get on that vibe to be like, right, I can do this too. Or else, you know, it could have been a stage where I could have fell off and given up. And then, of course, Bríd Corkery and Rena Buckley, you know, what more could you ask for in those two women, you know, just amazing and everything. And I'm really, really lucky that I've had the chance to play with them and get to know them outside of looking up to them. And I still look up to them and in everything they do. Like Bríd Corkery playing camogie this year, and the commitment she put in having a little child.
I don't know how they do that.
Don't know how. It's just, they're just amazing. And I suppose outside of that, you know, Mary O'Connor as well, looking up to those guys was really, really influenced me in my career. But especially Bríd and Rena, you know, they're just amazing what they've put in and what they've achieved, and the commitments and the sacrifices and the year in, year back, the resilience that they've taught me. I'll be forever grateful for having that chance to play with them there for a couple of years. Hopefully not the end of Bríd Corkery either. I'm hoping she'll be back around as well.
See, Aisling, I'm not blowing up Cork, right, as a country, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even though we are the greatest country, right? But I want to put that on the record. But like, we are lucky in Cork, right?
You have a lot of people to look up to.
Oh,
exactly.
Absolutely. Like in J, even outside of J, right? Sonia O'Sullivan, like, would have been another like kind of hero of mine. Like kind of watching her like competing in the Olympics, like someone from Cork running up against the best of the Kenyans and Ethiopians, like, you know, a lady from Cove, like kind of you had Roy Keane in the soccer, Dennis Irwin, kind of Ronan O'Gara in rugby, kind of I could go
You're
back
spoiled.
to Michael. Absolutely, like, and we're not shortage of kind of great sporting heroes. I mean, Chrissy Ring, kind of if you want to go back, and it's the same with the women counterpart as well, like kind of. I mean, I could go back to Cork camogie teams in the 80s. I remember there's Sandy Fitzgibbon, like kind of legend from the Glen Rovers, Linda Mellerick. Then you had Fiona O'Driscoll Len from Fort O'Neill's, like, you know, kind of. So, and it's great that we continue to producing those heroes, like, and encourage generations, like, kind of.
Oh, that's what it's all about,
and
to aspire, like, you know, kind of.
Big time.
It is really important, and I don't think you realise how much influence these people had on you till you look back at where you are. Yeah. You know, and you know, because even saying that down in my own club, you know, I wouldn't have had any female people to look up to. It was Kieran, it was Pierce, it was Connor. But you know, I do hope that maybe some of the younger girls, and I do try to make a bit more of an effort to get down to the club as much as I can, because you just realise how important it is to have someone to look up to.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so, but you know, I do try to help out and just, you know, keep people involved, especially amongst the girls, and especially even as you were saying, you see it in your own club, just so many distractions out there these days, and it's not till you're older, it's not till you come out of secondary school and realise what you've missed out. And you know, I've lots of friends who would have given up sport 12, 13, the usual ages when distractions come in, and how much they regret just being involved in a team, and you know what it's all about, what sport gives back to you, you know. So it's just important to keep people interested, especially at that age. 12,
big time.
13, yeah.
And how do you feel about that, sort of being the influence now, like that people are looking up to you? I know Seán Óg Ó, you've probably had it for a long time.
Well, you don't see it as any. Well, that's certainly for me, Hannah. I don't see it as anything special. Do you know what I mean? Like you just do it as your part of your daily life. Do you know, kind of you just go about your business, and if other people like kind of get influenced by that or take positives from it, great. Do you know, it's not that I wake up deliberately every day and I say, oh, I must be seen to be doing this, like, you know, I think Winston Churchill once said, his integrity is doing the right thing even when people are not looking at you, like, do you know what I mean? And it is so true, like, so it's just part of going about your daily life as usual, trying to be the good citizen, do the right thing, and then giving yourself every chance of preparing yourself for games, you know, and then if people take motivation from that, happy days, you know. It's only when you finish playing, like I'm 7 years finished with Cork now, I continue playing with the club for another couple of years after that, but I'm finished playing with the club 4 years now. But it's nice every now and then when you get someone like in their like 20s saying, oh, I remember you came out, like the time you mentioned about me going to retort, I get great kick out of that. Like, because number one, I tend to forget half the places that I go to. I know, but like, and then you kind of look back and it kind of dawns, you know, because I'm much older now to kind of register all of that and say, yeah, geez, that was something positive I did. Like,
a funny one was, I think it was you were an All-Star in 2004.
Correct.
Yeah, because I remember having like a poster up on my wall in my room of all the All-Stars of 2004. I remember saying it to my friend on the phone because I was saying that I was going to be interviewing you. And she was like, yeah, we all got them. They handed them out to all the primary schools. And like we all had the All-Star teams. Like
I think Vodafone, like over the journey, the All-Stars, like kind of they're sponsored. They would have been sponsored by different kind of companies or businesses. But I think those years it was the Vodafone All-Stars. So look at the post. So,
I know, it's funny how it comes around.
Like even talking about that now, kind of it just puts a smile to my face because you often wonder, like, kind of, you know, like the time that you put in, like, you know, how it's looked upon, and when you get something positive like that, or even I get like I go up to like anywhere and you get someone and they say, look, yeah, I remember you playing, whatever. Jesus, you give us what you call great years of service, and then even that, like, not that I was looking for pay for play back in my day, but that for me was payback. Do you know that for me, when you hear comments like that, is payback for the time and effort. Like even getting even recognition or a comment, you know, from someone that would have remembered you back in the day playing. Is golden, like, you know.
Yeah, it is nice. I was just saying on that, a couple of weeks ago I got a message on Instagram from a lady up the north that her kid, it's funny how you say it down in Cork, we've all the role models, but she was playing camogie up the north, and that you know, that I might have met her after an All-Ireland or something, and that you know, she just wrote a message of a letter that her daughter wanted to send to me, but she couldn't find her address. It was the cutest thing ever.
God.
You know, I must write back to her now and stuff. And just small little things like that, just, you know, it does, in the larger scale, you try to be humble. Obviously, it's for the team. It's always for the team. It's always for this or that. But when you get little recognition like that, it does mean a lot. The little things like that,
And the two of you have something in common with the dual star. So obviously, Seán Óg, you played both.
Well, she excelled at it. I failed miserably, right? I feel exalted to be compared to Hannah, but like I bombed out as a dual player.
But you still went through all the trainings, everything, trying to balance the both. Is that tough?
I don't know how players do it.
It's not seen, I suppose, in the men's as much anymore. Is it not?
No, like the dual players kind of dying, or like that probably died really, like, you know, kind of. I don't think there's any.
It can't be done. It's just gone too professional, maybe, in a way.
Like the commitment involved, you know, to one court is phenomenal. So like to double up on that, and then look, I get it to a degree. You have a football manager. His job is to deliver, you know, an All-Ireland championship that year.
Yeah.
So if he can't see his players, so he'll have a program laid out, like schedule, and if he can't see, you know, any of his players, like kind of, and all, so how's he supposed to pick him, like, you know, kind of, and then you have the hurling manager on the other side, like, kind of with the same mentality as well. So I can see why it's a dying art or a dead art now, like, you know. But there was something like I think there's something kind of magical about seeing a person, you know, a man or a woman that can excel at two different sports, like under the same umbrella. And then this is my second time blowing Cork up, but like kind of we produced in
for 10 minutes in
hurling football, ladies football in Camogie, we've produced great June players over the years. Like, so growing up in the 80s, Teddy McCarthy was he excelled in hurling and football. He won All Irelands in hurling and football, and then I think I'm right in this. He's the only player to win an All Ireland hurling and football in the 1 year. Okay, there's other players in Cork and other counties have won hurling and football, but Teddy's the only fella that has done it
in the same year.
That's in the man's. Can I?
Breach and Rena have 18, so they have plenty of time.
So. So when you grew up in a county that has produced dual players, and then funny enough, unlike other parts of the country, in Cork, especially my experience, like the clubs would encourage players to.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it encouraged?
Like, well, in my club it is. We're a hurling and football club, so like basically we would give football, or the 14 team that I'm training, we would give football the same time as we would give the hurling and we compete in both competitions. And which I think is a good thing, you know, especially for young kids. It gives them a diversity of skills. You know, there's certain skills in Gaelic that you wouldn't use in hurling and vice versa, or there's certain things that you do in Gaelic which you can introduce into hurling and vice versa. So I think it just broadens the young developing players' horizon a small bit, you know. And then look, if they get the other level they want to pick, fair enough, but at least you're giving them you're giving them a whole experience of what it's to be.
Exactly, and they can choose themselves. And Hannah, you're doing it. You're doing the two goals.
I suppose for me, I'm just very lucky. Myself and Libby are very lucky at the moment. That last 2 years, Aoife with football manager and Paddy with the Camogie manager have communicated well and gave us the best opportunity to excel at both. The only thing I would say is, I think the commitment to one, it's just so high these days between strength and conditioning, gym, whatever is involved, that you may as well be playing two if you can do it. You know what I mean? If I was just playing football, I'd still be out 6 nights a week, you know, because when I'm playing camogie, be it gym sessions, be it recovery sessions, and if two managers are in place that can accommodate you, that's fair enough.
I think that's key.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. Yeah, like the thing for me, I suppose I was lucky when I was coming onto the scene. I came onto the scene in Cork Camogie in 2014, and I was only playing camogie for a couple of years, and then I went into football 2016, kind of took out in 2017. But Breach and Rena were there, and they had it established, and they made sure they looked after me and Libby. If we were playing two, they were making sure, brilliant. You know. And like I would say, you know, I kind of was a bit sad or a bit disappointed this year with Ciara McCarthy, who's playing camogie and football, and both unbelievable talent, you know, just out of minor, unbelievable talent in camogie and football, and she ended up making a decision to play with camogie. And I suppose from her point of view, she felt she wasn't, I wouldn't say established, but you know, to give it her best shot to excel, she needed to do one. I do hope she'll come back into the football setup this year. You know, I do think it's possible. You know, was me and Olivia are at a small bit advantage that we've been around the block a bit longer. We know the managers a bit more. But once the communication is there and once the commitment is there,
they also will let you maybe do your gym work with the football. And
exactly.
Go to training on the Wednesday with the camogie.
Yeah,
I think that's it. If you just
communicate well, and like
some counties don't have that, I suppose.
Yeah, and you know, because I know a couple of girls maybe from Dublin, let's say, and Dublin at the moment are really strong ladies football, obviously, but they're not so much in camogie. They're up and coming, and you know, that's thrown back at the few footballers that want to play camogie as well. They're like, you know, why are you playing camogie? You're not going to win an All Ireland anytime soon. You know what I mean? So we are at that advantage in Cork that we're so good at both. And like, you know, I've been lucky this year. There's times where I need to just play football or I need to get football in. Paddy would be like, okay, don't go to the ball alley, do 20 minutes there, go do your football. You know what I mean? We did have good Paddy and Aoife were very accommodating, that made it possible. I would hate to see the dual player become a dying breed that it is. As I said, I was lucky that Bridge and Rena were still around and set that mark and brought me and Libby along with them. But yeah, I don't know. You know, it's hard for it's hard for Ciara this year. As I said, hope she'll come back and do football in Camogie. And I know Fiona Keating would be a talent coming through the minors, who won a minor football All-Ireland and a minor Camogie All-Ireland this year. So it'll be great to see. Hopefully she'll push on and join the two, and hopefully that the managers in place will support her in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, just to pick up on the point there Hannah mentioned, and it's a valid point. So if you're playing with a country and the competitions that they're in, and if they don't have a realistic chance, I think the decision is kind of already made for them. Like, for instance, I'll take Dublin, for example. Dare I say, Conor Cannon and Kieran Kilkenny can equally play with the Dublin hurlers. But I'd say, but like, basically, I mean, they've won the 5 in a row now, like, do you know what I mean? But like,
you'd wonder, does he want to?
Yeah, you'd.
So, you know, he's so talented. Like,
yeah, you'd wonder, does he love hurling as much as he loves football, or what's the story there? Yeah.
Could he do it? So the fact that and then, like, don't get me wrong, Dublin are competitive in hurling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Dublin are capable of being anyone in a hurling championship on any given day. Do you know, kind of? But the fact that the footballers are on a different journey altogether, it seems to be like a big juggernaut that's going on, cleaning up All Ireland after All Ireland. Sure, if you were playing that position, who would I go with? A potential team that might win it, or a team like that's more or less going to win it? Sure, I could see why they're playing with the Dublin footballers, like, you know, playing with the Dublin footballers, like, you know, kind of. But different ball game here, like, where you have teams like that have a genuine
compete
chance
at both codes.
Whatever competition they're in, you can play. Like, back to my own playing is like, it was a great romantic idea playing both codes, and it was grand. It was like a badge of honor playing kind of. But the biggest problem I found playing both codes was so you'd play Kilkenny, right, kind of this Sunday, and you're marking someone like DJ Carey, right, or John Power, that's focused 12 months of the year hurling, and then basically you've been tied up with the footballers a small bit for the couple of weeks up to that, and then you're having to turn around within a week or two, like, to get your skills up to date up against someone like that's just being geared hurling, and then that was and then you might get through or you might struggle, and then start after the hurling game, like there'd be a football game, and you're marking someone like Dara Kinnear or Maurice Fitzgerald, who's been tuned in football 12 months of the year. I found that hard to juggle. So, do you know that saying, jack of all trades, Mar? So that's what I found, like, that I was coasting along in my years, and it was only.
But would you change any of that now to look back?
Well, what's really kind of I would stick to one note, and I tell you why. I tell you why. It was only when I stopped playing football, my hurling just went, like,
best it was
up the stratosphere. Like, I didn't think I didn't think I was capable of reaching those heights in hurling. Do you know what I mean? Kind of, but looking back in it, like, it was very attainable, because basically everything was geared towards hurling. I was thinking hurling, do you know what I mean? Like, even driving to matches, or like, I was thinking hurling. I was doing more hurling training on and off the pitch, do you know, kind of. I didn't have, outside of the club where I still played Gaelic football games, but everything was hurling. So but my hurling just.
So would you change it though?
Kinda, so if you wanna, like, I don't know how these guys are doing it, like excelling in both, like, you know, but like someone that was like my overriding message is, if you want to really excel, just pick one and
go with that.
Go
What
for
do you
it.
think of
Yeah,
that?
go for it.
I'll just pick up on what Seán Óg was saying there. I suppose, you know, he was saying when he was focused on, or when he was switching from hurling and football. For me, I can agree and I can disagree in a sense. For me, what I find really good during through the year, if I have a bad camogie game, the last thing I want to do is go camogie training, you know, on the Tuesday. You know, it takes me a while to kind of digest stuff. Whereas if I have a bad camogie game, I can just switch off for a bit and go concentrate on football and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that did work well for me.
Yeah.
But then having said that, let's say this year and last year, you know, last year in a camogie All-Ireland final, you win a camogie All-Ireland final on a Sunday and you have to go turn around and play a football All-Ireland final.
Madness.
The next Sunday, like, I wasn't and that was the same this year. Look, this 2019 is one to forget, losing both semi-finals, but it was, you know, lost the camogie semi-final and then went around and played football semi-final the week after. I suppose you wonder then, maybe, am I losing out there? Is my head switched on for that football game or not? Well, I think to an extent, yes, but it's like, I think it's afterwards. It's
hard mentally,
when it stops mentally. Yeah. And that's something I've struggled with a lot, let's say, this year and last year, especially this year, because we haven't won anything. You know, last year we won the Camogie All-Ireland. We'd something to celebrate during the winter. We'd an excuse to go out. There was a cup on the table every Saturday night. You know, it was great. This year now, you're kind of like, geez, I lost the semi-final to Galway, lost the semi-final to Dublin. And, you know, when training stops and when everything stops and you're out of routine, I suppose it's a bit harder that I'm finished college now as well this year. I suppose it's something I haven't really talked about. And I wonder, is it something worth talking about for men and women, you know, when the commitment stops, when that 24/7, like, I presume anyone who's playing sport at that high level, they're thinking about it 90% of the time. They're doing football, they're doing hurling, they're doing camogie, and then when it stops, you're like, geez, what do I do now? And I am struggling with that a bit. You know, it's good to have sports like the WGP out there who, if you want to reach out there, they're going to support you.
Exactly.
You know, but it is something to think about. I suppose it's something that I should talk about to my teammates and talk about.
See if they're feeling the same way.
Because I doubt I'm the only one who feels like this. I'd say it's a global thing amongst any athlete who's in such a disciplined routine for
then just all
6
of a
months
sudden
a year,
come out of it.
Come out and you go out in the piss for a couple of days, couple of weeks. That's all grand, and then that kind of has to stop too. You know, it's an extra long winter for me now. But you know, and especially you have to go to work in the morning and stuff like that. You know, you'd wonder. You know, it is something I struggle with, and you know, I presume other people struggle with it too. It's something that, you know, I should probably talk about a bit more and reach out in that sense. But yeah.
And do you think it's hard with the schedule of the football and the camogie? Like, there's some girls, like on Meath, like one of the girls was playing, I think she had an hour in between a game this year. It was on the same pitch, so she went out and played the camogie, and then she had an hour and she'd go a county football game.
Yeah, that's insane. And to be fair, like, I don't know, it did crop up again this year. There was meant to be a fixtures on the same weekend with the ladies football and camogie. You know, this is back to the question, why can't we all be under the one tree? Why can't the ladies football and camogie just be GAA? And that's kind of something I really hope that'll change sooner rather than later. You know, it shouldn't.
I don't understand why it hasn't got to that stage yet. It's best intentions for everyone. And you know, I think it's the best, it's the best move forward for everyone. Even if the camogie and ladies football came together, I don't understand why they can't sit down at the start of the year and go through their fixtures. Never mind dual players, but you shouldn't have a Cork camogie and a Cork ladies football match on the just
same
for the
day.
game in the county to get people out,
Yeah, so little things like that. Hopefully that'll get better again next year. It is getting better.
Did that happen to you at all?
I've been lucky enough. I haven't had much of a clash. I don't think it's kind of been resolved. There was a big clash a couple of years ago between college and camogie, and that was an awful experience on a personal note, what I went through. Myself, Maeve Callan and Libby Coppinger had huge decisions to make, and there was a lot of backlash out of that.
I remember that. Was that last year?
It was 2 years ago, I think now.
Where you're told you'd never play or something.
That made huge airwaves down here.
It shouldn't have got to that. I suppose college is a bit different to the GAA, but it's as important competition.
And it's important to you.
It is
you put a lot of time
yeah.
into that team.
Yeah, exactly. And it's such playing college football in camogie is definitely one of the best highlights of my life.
You were getting ready for Ashburn Cup, was
yeah,
that? And then
O'Connor Cup the football with the camogie league game, and it was a big mess, made a huge problem. But I suppose people forget what like me, Maeve, Libby and our families go through after that. You know, it looks grand. Okay, they didn't play this match, they did play that match, but it is a mental thing. It is a hard thing to go through after that again. But yeah, just back to college football and camogie. You know, they should be on par with intercounty, especially at that time of year, because you know the experiences, the memories, the friends, and personal development you get out of playing with your college is huge, and it should be valued by intercounty setups like that. And even just in camogie, in football, you're always under pressure to go to Cork training, when I think the college should get a bit more leeway. And this is all around the country. I hear this. Even with the men's, it's the same.
It's the same.
They're not. They don't get the leeway from the county setups, which I think they should, especially it's that time of year.
And you make so much progression in college football or camogie.
You do,
hurling,
and I think
you know,
the standard. Playing camogie and football at that standard at that time of year is 10 times higher than what you're going to get exposure to playing with Cork at that time of year. So I think that's just a mind shift, and in women and men's I think that's a common problem, that the colleges should be valued a bit more by intercounty setups.
I mean, people underestimate the work that's done at third level colleges, like for the development of Gaelic games and players in particular. Like you get players coming in, like men and girls, like kind of at 18, 19 years of age, and they're exposed to an unbelievable level where they wouldn't, as Hannah mentioned, they wouldn't have been exposed to before, playing with their own clubs. Yeah. And I mean, so you have a camogie player playing with UCC up against UL, not just UL, but it's the cream of the crop, do you know what I mean? Like from the girls up there, kind of, so that's bound to bring you on, like,
and all other counties, it's not just, you know, you have
like absolutely, and same with, you know, so the colleges is made up of the cream of the, you know, the cream of the girls or boys, like, you know, and kind of at that college. So and usually the college competitions are earlier on in the year, and then there should be a window allowed for whoever's involved. Grand. This is my own personal take, that county managers, like, how would you put it? What's the word I'm looking for? But they should have the confidence to let their players go, knowing like that they're playing at a high level. Yeah, they're not going to lose out, and like.
It's not as if they're sitting at home, like
exactly.
You know,
they're probably doing more training, if anything, or getting more
at a higher level.
And when they're ready to come with Cork, then after that,
which is probably going into the championship.
It was
in May or June.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I think the value what the colleges do seem to be undermined a small by the county managers at all levels. Like, you know.
And Seán Óg, you're going to be the minor selector now this year?
Well, like bombshell of a news, really, kind of like it was kind of it was the last thing in my mind, say coaching to underage team this year in my club, like that. If you would have told me, like, kind of say during the summer that I'd be involved in the Cork minor setup, I would have laughed at you, like, you know, kind of. But it was just, like, just events transpired. Don't know, got the manager's job, and I'd know him very well from out playing days. I mean, geez, he saved out bacon many times, like, in games over the years, like, you know, top class goalkeeper, top class guy, actually, like, kind of, even outside of sport. So, so when he was appointed, he asked myself and Tom Kenny, will we get involved? And it's like what you're doing with the club. If it's something that you can kind of influence, you know, kind of in the right way, sure, why not? And kind of we look forward to. We're only there for a year, and we'll give it a good crack. And history's not too kind. Like history's not on our side, because I think the last time Cork won a minor was back in 2001. Which is shocking for a county like Cork, like, kind of, and actually my brother Satanta was on that team, like, and along with Tomas O'Leary, who went on to play rugby. John Gardner was on that team as well. So, like, kind of, I mean, for one of the hurling traditional counties like Cork to win a minor last in 2001 is, like, kind of unforgivable. So that's the task ahead of us, like, do you know what I mean?
Is it hard to be only given 1 year then? Like I know they'll move on, but I'm sure you have a lot of lads that might have 2 years or so in it.
Yeah,
maybe more.
Like I put it another way, just say if you were doing a senior team and you were only given 1 year, how do you build? I mean, you'd be probably disappointed with that because, like you're going to be dealing with the same group of players at senior level. Do you know what I mean? Whether last year or the next couple of years, where minor is not as bad because they're only 1 year of minor and they're gone.
Yeah.
So it's not like that. You know, it's not like
years.
Exactly. So, so the crop that we're gonna be working with coming next year, they're gonna be minor for one, and they're gone. Like, do you know what I mean? So, and we'll see how it goes. A lot of time taken up, kind of scouting players, which is. Like it's grand when you're asked would you get involved, and you have this kind of perception like that it's going to be like the yellow brick road, and then when you go through the planning and what's involved, you say, oh geez, I forgot about that. Do I need to go to that? Do you need to? You need to do everything. But it's great. Look, it's going to be different from dealing with club teams and UCC freshers teams, but we're looking forward to it.
And we might finish up on this question then. So, Seán Óg Ó, all the experience you have, what advice would you give to Hannah now? Setting out.
Oh. You've caught me in the spot there. No,
Do you need a minute?
Can I phone a friend or not? No.
Is there anything you regret, or is there anything that... I know you were saying about the dual player status and stuff like that. It's difficult, but you had a lot of highs doing both. So is there?
I might ask you one thing, Seán Óg, actually. Like, you know, coming back now from a bad year, 2018 was a bad year of football. It's good things to look back from Camogie. But, you know, how do I put that behind you and focus now for 2020? Or something, you know, or what? Yeah, that might be...
Yeah, can I go back to your question? No. Can I? How do you?
What, to get yourself back up again?
We're like, we want all the advice, Seán Óg.
Yeah. Dish it out.
Well, like I think it's very important to take stock of what happened this year. Do you know what I mean? And you look at start off with a page and a pen. It's always a great place to kind of draw down a line in the middle, positives, negatives, do you know what I mean? And then basically what you call it, just list out the stuff that went well or not. Kind of usually in a year that you don't win anything, kind of there's a lot of stuff that like negatives tend to show up more, and then start tackling them one by one. Do you know what I mean? And saying, yeah, I could have done that differently looking back in it. But the principles stay the same, like, do you know what I mean? Your commitment, your drive is the same, if not better, for next year. I even found, like, in the years that you don't win, that harnesses your hunger and your stomach, kind of, compared to, like, years that you're successful, kind of, you tend to become like the Roman Empire, where you get lazy, do you know what I mean? People tend to get lazy, complacent, kind of, take things for granted, where when you don't have a success for a year or two or a period, it kind of it gets the hunger back again.
Yeah,
and
that's a good point. It's a good way to look at it for yourself. To be like, that's a positive
hunger is a vital important ingredient, like, you know, in anything, but like especially sport, like just to so there would be the things that jump out in my head, like, you know, and it's like the All Blacks, whatever you do, +1. So if Dublin are doing 50 press-ups, you're doing 50 +1. If Dublin are doing whatever, you know, running, you do +1. You know, everything is +1, because basically the opposition are, like, if you think the opposition are not doing hard, they are, like, you know, kind of, so whatever you do, +1. So, like, at least you're saying, yeah, I think, or I want to be ahead of the, you know, ahead of the pack. But back to your question, if there is one thing looking back in it that I didn't do so well, was take the rest. Like I
Yeah.
train myself senseless. And when I look back in it, like some of my best performances were on a training pitch. There's no good to you like on a Sunday, like, do you know what I mean? When you need to perform, like, so, and I'm telling, like, so we had an under 14 county final there recently, and I'm telling fellas, like, last couple of days, just put your hurl in your cupboard. They're looking at you stupid, like, do you know what I mean? They think like, no, I need to be hitting. No. Believe me, lads, all the work is done. Just put the hurl in the cupboard. When you touch that hurley, like in a couple of days' time, I'm telling you, you'll be but I didn't do that, like, do you know what I mean? I just thought more was better always, like, do you know?
That's a great way of a bit of advice to look at it.
But no, certain times of the year, more is better, but I started to do more better, like, a week out of championship, but there was nothing like...
But rest is so important.
Absolutely, like, so if I was to go back to myself 20 years ago, I would have kind of told myself to... I used to get a bit excited coming up to... And the only thing to quench my excitement was to do more training, which was wrong, you know, and especially the work volumes like that you're doing in hurling and football. Geez, rest is
key.
Rest is key. So yeah.
Does that answer your questions a little bit, Hannah?
Yeah, I suppose maybe just one thing. Like, what about this time of year now? Like, it's a long winter. Like, what would you have done, or what would have been your way to get yourself ready for the
so after long year, great credit. After long, like you would have had a long year. You're just finished club, like you should take like 4 or 5 weeks off anyway. Just take it off, like just eat a muffin, eat go to Chipper, eat like just do it. No, and it's like just do it for 5 weeks. Cause you go mad like trying to keep your diet for 12 months of the year. Like you need time off, but you need to de-register yourself from that because when you go back into it, like it'll be, and you'll be looking back and saying, geez, why didn't they do that in a couple of weeks' time? Just just take time out, just get out of the routine, do something different, do you know what I mean? For the next 4 or 5 weeks, but they recommend you anyway from a body like after a long season to to rest up, not do anything strenuous, and then basically I'm sure when the management be appointed on board, they'll be
the messages will be in and
quick enough, like,
exactly.
and then you'll be going hard at it, and then you'll be saying, geez, why didn't they take that time to relax and go to the movies, do something different? As I said, eat a muffin, eat a Kit Kat, go to McDonald's, do something because like when you start getting into that routine again, like you have how many seasons at senior level you have 4 or 5 years, like you have a lot of you have a lot of training years behind you, have a lot of mileage built up, so like basically it'd be easy, like once you get back into routine, like you'll just it wouldn't take you long, do you know what I mean, to where someone that's in for the first year needs to build up like what you have built up, like so I know this goes against the grain of dietitians and but just enjoy.
Go to the Chipper.
Might go for a Lennox now after this.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all going.
Fish and chips, on Tom, yeah.
Well, thanks a million, lads. It's been something else having you, Seán Óg, and you, Hannah. Definitely, it's lovely to see the dual story, and hopefully it does stay alive. Thanks a million.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.